Announcer bot is active. The qualification session is at Ricardo Tormo in Valencia, Spain. The wind speed is 3 km/h from the east. Juan Pablo Aristizabal from Colombia in a Spartan speed. Ivan Trujillo from Colombia is 5th on softs. Villavicencio from Colombia in Bernat Martinez is 6th on mediums. Jose Miguel Moncada from Colombia in Adrian Campos is 3rd on mediums. Santiago Vidal from Spain is P16 on mediums. Santiago Idarraga is up 21.24 in T3. Christian Gomez from Colombia is 7th at 19.35 on mediums. Christian Gomez is up 22.29 in Champi Herreros. Pablo Aristizabal is 2nd up 0.43 on mediums. Is P3 up 0.71 on mediums. Ricardo Pineda is up 0.97 in Champi Herreros. 10 minutes remaining in the session. Ricardo improved his P2 with a 135.921. 0.890 off pole. Esteban Gomez from Colombia is P15 on mediums. Esteban Gomez improved his P11 with a 137.575. 2.544 off pole. Carlos Villavicencio is P16. J.Enriquez from Colombia is P6 up 0.56 on mediums. J.Enriquez is provisional pole with 135.643. Sebastián Aristizabal from Colombia in T13 is 8th up 0.60 on mediums. Sebastián Aristizabal improved his 4th with a 135.803. 0.772 off pole. Juan Pablo Aristizabal is P6. Juan Pablo Aristizabal is provisional pole with a 135.567. Jose Miguel Moncada is 9. Jose Miguel Moncada improved his P8 with a 136.246. 1.215 off pole. Carlos Villavicencio of Adrian Campos is P2. Carlos Villavicencio is provisional pole with a 134.828. Esteban Gomez from Colombia in Duan is P10 up 0.39. Sebastián Aristizabal in Bernat Martinez is P6 up 0.17. Sebastián Aristizabal is up 0.45 in T13. Sebastián Aristizabal improved his P3 with a 135.243. 0.415 off pole. Esteban Gomez is 10th up 0.52. Best lap is a 137.127. 2.299 off pole. Esteban Gomez improved his P10 with a 136.491. 1.663 off pole. Yanli from China and Adrian Campos is 11th on mediums. Carlos Villavicencio is provisional pole with a 134.753. Yanli improved his 11th with a 136.735. 1.982 off pole. Carlos Villavicencio in Duan is first up 0.15. Best lap is a 134.753. Carlos Villavicencio is up 0.24 in Angel Nieto. Esteban Gomez in T10 is 10th up 0.22. Esteban Gomez is up 0.36 in Adrian Campos. 5 minutes remaining in the session. Esteban Gomez improved his 8th with a 136.086. 1.333 off pole. Carlos Villavicencio is provisional pole with a 134.708. Santiago Idarraga is 15th. Santiago Idarraga is up 0.78 in Adrian Campos. Santiago Idarraga improved his 13th with a 137.53. 2.830 off pole. Christian Gomez in T13 is P2 up 0.75. Christian Gomez is provisional pole with a 134.249. Oscar Bejos from Colombia in T11 is 17th up 4.28 on meters. Sebastian Aristizabal in Adrian Campos is P3 up 0.17. Sebastian Aristizabal improved his 3rd with a 135.142. 0.893 off pole. Juan Pablo Aristizabal is P4 up 0.31. Ricardo Pineda is 7th. Ricardo Pineda improved his 7th with a 135.719. 1.470 off pole. Yan Li from China in T13 is 11th up 0.64. Yan Li improved his 9th with a 136.225. 1.976 off pole. Juan Pablo Arango in T11 is 6th up 0.26 on mediums. Is 5th with a 135.152. 0.903 off pole. Ricardo Pineda is 7th up 0.48. Ricardo Pineda improved his 6th with a 135.235. 0.986 off pole. Diego Ortiz from Colombia in Angel Nieto is P11 up 0.27 on mediums. Juan Pablo Arango in Bernat Martinez is P5 up 0.10. Ricardo Pineda in T3 is P6 up 0.17. J.Enriquez in T11 is 7th up 0.20 on mediums. P7 with a 135.349. 1.100 off pole. Oscar Bejos in Nico Terol is P17 up 0.15. Juan Pablo Aristizabal is P4 up 0.13 on mediums. The qualifying session is now in overtime. Jose Miguel Moncada in T5 is 10th up 0.30. Jose Miguel Moncada is up 0.59 in T9. Oscar Bejos is P17 up 0.49. Oscar Bejos improved his P16 with a 138.524, 4.275 off pole. Oscar Bejos is up 0.08 in T3. Oscar Bejos is up 0.56 in Cava de la Afición. The race session is at Ricardo Tormo in Valencia, Spain. The wind speed is 2 km/h from the east. Carlos Huertas is 12th. Christian Gomez is 1st. Carlos Villavicencio from Colombia is 2nd on mediums. Sebastián Aristizabal from Colombia is 3rd on mediums. Juan Pablo Aristizabal from Colombia is P4 on mediums. Juan Pablo Arango is 5th on mediums. Ricardo Pineda from Colombia is 6th on mediums. J.Enriquez from Colombia is 7th on mediums. Esteban Gomez from Colombia is P8 on mediums. Yanli from China is 9th on mediums. Diego Ortiz from Colombia is 10th on mediums. Carlos Huertas from Colombia is 11th on mediums. Santiago Idarraga from Spain is P12 on mediums. Ivan Trujillo from Colombia is 13th on softs. Santiago Bedoya from Colombia is 14th on mediums. Oscar Bejos from Colombia is 15th on mediums. Sebastián Valencia from Colombia is 16th on mediums. Race start. Christian Gomez is 2nd. Carlos Carlos Villavicencio in Aspar is second. From Colombia is second on mediums. Sebastián Aristizabal in T5 is fourth. Santiago Bedoya in Champi Herreros is 8th. Carlos Huertas in Adrian Campos is 9th. Christian Gomez is second, 0.2 behind Carlos Villavicencio. Yanli entering the pits is 14th. J.Enriquez entering the pits is 15th. Sebastian Valencia in Duin is P11. Best lap is a 1:58.463. 11.203 off the fastest lap. Oscar Vejos entering the pits is 16th. Carlos Huertas is P9. Best lap is a 1:55.414. 8.154 off the fastest lap. Santiago Idarraga is 12th, 0.2 behind Sebastian Valencia. Santiago Idarraga passed Sebastian Valencia for 11th. Sebastian Valencia is 12th, 0.3 behind Santiago Idarraga. Esteban Gomez on lap 2 is 6th, 0.1 behind Juan Pablo Arango. Yanli exiting pits on mediums. J.Enriquez exiting pits on mediums. Carlos Huertas in the sport is 9th on mediums, 0.3 behind Santiago Bedoya. Ricardo exiting pits on mediums. Sebastián Aristizabal is P3. Best lap is a 1:36.839. 0.057 off the fastest lap. Carlos Huertas in Bernat Martinez is P9, 0.4 behind Santiago Bedoya. Santiago in T13 is P11, 0.9 behind Ivan Trujillo. is 9, 0.1 behind Carlos Huertas. Santiago Bedoya passed Carlos Huertas right. Carlos Huertas is P9, 0.5 behind Santiago Bedoya. Sebastián Aristizabal in T11 is P3, 0.8 behind Christian Gomez. Sebastian Valencia in T9 is P12. Best lap is a 1:38.461. 2.851 off the fastest lap. Carlos Huertas is 9th, 0.4 behind Santiago Bedoya. Santiago Bedoya is 9th. Santiago Bedoya passed Carlos Huertas for P8. Carlos Huertas in T5 on lap 5 is P9, 0.6 behind Santiago Bedoya. Sebastián Aristizabal in T13 is 3rd, 0.9 behind Christian Gomez. Carlos Huertas in T13 on lap 5 is P9, 0.5 behind Santiago Bedoya. Santiago Bedoya is 9. Santiago Bedoya passed Carlos Huertas for 8. Carlos Huertas from Colombia in Duin is P9, 0.3 behind Santiago Bedoya. Sebastián Aristizabal in T11 is P3, 0.6 behind Christian Gomez. Carlos Huertas in T10 is P9, 0.4 behind Santiago Bedoya. Aristizabal from Colombia is 3rd, 0.5 behind Christian Gomez. Santiago Bedoya is P9 battling Carlos Huertas. Santiago Bedoya Carlos Huertas for P8. Ivan Trujillo is 11th on softs battling Sebastian Valencia. Santiago Bedoya on lap 7 is 9th, 0.5 behind Carlos Huertas. Santiago Idarraga is P10 on mediums, 0.4 behind Santiago Bedoya. Santiago Idarraga was 1.7 faster last lap. Sebastian Aristizabal and Adrian Campos is P3, 0.5 behind Christian Gomez. Santiago Idarraga in T13 on lap 7 is P10, 0.4 behind Santiago Bedoya. Sebastian Aristizabal in T3 is 3rd, 0.4 behind Christian Gomez. Santiago Idarraga in Duan is P10 on mediums, 0.4 behind Santiago Bedoya. Carlos Huertas is P10, 0.2 behind Santiago Idarraga. Carlos Huertas lost P10 to Ivan Trujillo. Carlos Huertas lost P12 to Ricardo Pineda. Santiago Idarraga and Bernat Martinez is P9, 0.5 behind Santiago Bedoya. Is P5, 0.5 behind Juan Pablo Aristizabal. Juan Pablo Arango passed Juan Pablo Aristizabal for P4. Ivan Trujillo is 10th. Ivan Trujillo entering the pits is P10. Juan Pablo Aristizabal in Duan is 9th. Best lap is a 1:35.490. 0.162 off the fastest lap. Juan Pablo Aristizabal entering the pits is 9th. J.Enriquez is 14th. Sebastian Aristizabal is 3rd, 0.5 behind Christian Gomez. Ivan Trujillo exiting pits. Ricardo Pineda in Angel Nieto is P10, 0.5 behind Sebastian Valencia. Ricardo Pineda passed Sebastian Valencia for P9. Juan Pablo Aristizabal exiting pits. Sebastian Valencia in T11 is P10, 0.5 behind Ricardo Pineda. Sebastián Aristizabal in Cupa de la Afición is third, 0.8 behind Christian Gomez. On lap 10 is P8, 1.2 behind Santiago Bedoya. Sebastián Aristizabal is P3, 0.5 behind Christian Gomez. Santiago Ibarraga is P8, 1.5 behind Santiago Bedoya. Santiago Ibarraga entering the pits is P8. Ivan Trujillo from Colombia is 12. Santiago Ibarraga is P9. 2.9 behind Ricardo Pineda. Santiago Ibarraga exiting pits. Santiago Ibarraga lost 10th to Carlos Huertas. Sebastián Aristizabal is third, 1.1 behind Christian Gomez. Carlos Huertas in Angel Nieto is P10, 0.5 behind Sebastian Valencia. Carlos Huertas was 3.5 faster last lap. Carlos Huertas passed Sebastian Valencia for 9th. Santiago Bedoya is 7th. Santiago Bedoya entering the pits is P7. Yanli entering the pits is 15th. Ricardo Pineda and Adrian Campos is 8th. Ricardo Pineda passed Santiago Bedoya for 7th. Santiago Bedoya is P9, 3.5 behind Carlos Huertas. Santiago Ibarraga entering the pits is P11. Santiago Bedoya lost 9th to Sebastian Valencia. Sebastián Aristizabal is third, 1.5 behind Christian Gomez. Christian Gomez was 0.6 faster last lap. Sebastián Aristizabal entering the pits is P3. Juan Pablo Arango entering the pits is P4. Christian Gomez is second. Esteban Gomez entering the pits is 5th. Esteban Gomez is 5th. Diego Ortiz is 4th. Diego Ortiz passed Juan Pablo Arango for 3rd. Santiago Ibarraga exiting pits on hards. Sebastián Aristizabal exiting pits on hards. Juan Pablo Arango is 5th. Juan Pablo Arango exiting pits on mediums. Carlos Huertas is P8. Esteban Gomez exiting pits on hards. Carlos Huertas entering the pits is 8th. Sebastian Valencia is 9th. Sebastian Valencia entering the pits is P9. Santiago Bedoya entering the pits is 10th. Oscar Bejos in T5 is 15th. Santiago Bedoya is 8th. Santiago Bedoya exiting pits on mediums. Carlos Huertas exiting pits on hards. Ivan Trujillo in Duan is 9th, 0.4 behind Santiago Bedoya. Sebastian Valencia exiting pits on mediums. Sebastian Valencia in the sport on lap 13 is 13th, 0.1 behind J.Enriquez. Diego Ortiz is P3. Ricardo Pineda entering the pits is 5th. Juan Pablo Arango entering the pits is 6th. Ivan Trujillo in T9 is 9th, 0.5 behind Santiago Bedoya. Diego Ortiz entering the pits is 5th. Carlos Huertas is P11. Ricardo Pineda exiting pits on hards. Diego Ortiz is P8 on mediums. Diego Ortiz exiting pits on mediums. Diego Ortiz is now P9. Ivan Trujillo in Duan is P7, 0.4 behind Santiago Bedoya. Ivan Trujillo lost 7th to Juan Pablo Aristizabal. Ricardo Pineda from Colombia in Bernat Martinez is P5. Aristizabal from Colombia in Champi Herreros is 7th, 0.9 behind Santiago Bedoya. Huertas is P10 on hards, 0.9 behind Diego Ortiz. J.Enriquez entering the pits is 11th. J.Enriquez from Colombia is 11th. Sebastian Valencia is P12. Sebastian Valencia is now 11th. Is 7th, 0.3 behind Santiago Bedoya. Juan Pablo Aristizabal was 3.7 faster last lap. Juan Pablo Aristizabal passed Santiago Bedoya for 6th. Carlos Huertas is P10. Santiago Bedoya on lap 15 is 7th, 0.5 behind Juan Pablo Aristizabal. J.Enriquez exiting pits on hards. Sebastian Valencia is 11th, 4.4 ahead of Santiago Ibarra. Santiago Ibarra from Spain is 12th on hards, 4.2 behind Sebastian Valencia. Christian Gomez is P2, 1.4 behind Carlos Villavicencio. Is P12, 3.4 behind Sebastian Valencia. Sebastian Valencia is P11 on mediums, 3.5 ahead of Santiago Ibarra. Carlos Villavicencio in T13 is first, 2.1 ahead of Christian Gomez. Oscar Bejos entering the pits is P13. Christian Gomez is second on mediums, 3.8 behind Carlos Villavicencio. Christian Gomez entering the pits is P2. Diego Ortiz is 9th, 1.4 behind Ivan Trujillo. Oscar Bejos exiting pits on softs. Sebastian Aristizabal is P3 on hards. Christian Gomez is second on softs, 0.8 ahead of Sebastian Aristizabal. Christian Gomez exiting pits on softs. Christian Gomez lost P2 to Sebastian Aristizabal. Diego Ortiz is 9th, 0.4 behind Ivan Trujillo. Diego Ortiz was 0.9 faster last lap. Carlos Villavicencio is first. Carlos Villavicencio entering the pits is P1. Christian Gomez and Angel Nieto is third. Carlos Villavicencio is first on softs. Carlos Villavicencio exiting pits on softs. Diego Ortiz in T3 is P9, 0.7 behind Ivan Trujillo. Santiago Idarraga in Nico Terol is 12, 0.7 behind Sebastian Valencia. Diego Ortiz in T11 is P9, 0.5 behind Ivan Trujillo. Is 12, 0.5 behind Sebastian Valencia. Santiago Idarraga was 1.5 faster last lap. Diego Ortiz is P9 on mediums, 0.2 behind Ivan Trujillo. Ivan Trujillo in Nico Terol on lap 20 is P9 battling Diego Ortiz. Santiago Idarraga in T5 is 12, 0.9 behind Sebastian Valencia. Santiago Bedoya in T13 on lap 20 is P7. Is P12 on hards, 0.5 behind Sebastian Valencia. Christian Gomez in T3 is P3. Best lap is a 1:34.108. Sebastian Valencia in T3 is 12, 0.1 behind Santiago Idarraga. Christian Gomez in Bernat Martinez is P3, 0.5 behind Sebastian Aristizabal. Christian Gomez was 2.7 faster last lap. Juan Pablo Aristizabal entering the pits is 6th. Juan Pablo Aristizabal is P6. Carlos Villavicencio is P1. Ivan Trujillo is P9, 1.0 ahead of Carlos Huertas. Ivan Trujillo entering the pits is 9th. Carlos Huertas in Aspar is P8. Juan Pablo Aristizabal exiting pits on softs. Ivan Trujillo on lap 22 is 12th. Ivan Trujillo exiting pits on mediums. Diego Ortiz in T10 is 7th on mediums, 0.5 behind Santiago Bedoya. Sebastian Valencia from Colombia is P11, 1.2 behind Santiago Idarraga. Ortiz is 7th on mediums, 0.9 behind Santiago Bedoya. Christian Gomez in Corvette Fecha is P2. Diego Ortiz in T13 is P7, 0.6 behind Santiago Bedoya. Aristizabal is P9 on softs. Diego Ortiz in T5 is 7th, 0.5 behind Santiago Bedoya. Ivan Trujillo is 12th. Diego Ortiz in T13 on lap 24 is P7, 0.5 behind Santiago Bedoya. Aristizabal is P9. Best lap is a 1:34.642. 0.534 of the fastest lap. Diego Ortiz is P7. Best lap is a 1:36.992. 2.884 off the fastest lap. Christian Gomez from Colombia is P3. Diego Ortiz in T9 is P7 on mediums, 0.5 behind Santiago Bedoya. Diego Ortiz entering the pits is 13. Juan Pablo Aristizabal is P7. Christian Gomez is third, 1.7 behind Sebastián Aristizabal. Christian Gomez was 1.8 faster last lap. Sebastián Aristizabal in Nico Terol is P2, 1.3 ahead of Christian Gomez. Christian Gomez and Bernat Martinez is P3. Christian Gomez passed Sebastián Aristizabal for second. Juan Pablo Aristizabal and Adrian Campos is 7th. 3.0 behind Santiago Bedoya. Juan Pablo Aristizabal was 4.1 faster last lap. Santiago Bedoya entering the pits is 7th. Juan Pablo Aristizabal passed Santiago Bedoya for 6th. Santiago Bedoya is 7th. Oscar Vejos is P13. Santiago Bedoya on lap 27 is P8. Santiago Bedoya exiting pits on mediums. Ricardo Pineda finished 5th. Christian Gomez is P2. Huertas finished P6. Juan Pablo Aristizabal finished P7. Oscar Bejos finished 13th. Santiago Ibarraga finished 8th. Sebastian Valencia finished P9. Esteban Gomez finished P4. Santiago Eloy finished 10th. Ivan Trujillo finished 11th.